In 2022, Miu Miu was named the hottest brand in the world by Lyst. Then they did it again in 2023. Then their sales grew 93% in 2024. Then they crossed €1 billion in revenue for the first time ever. That is not a normal growth trajectory for a brand that spent most of its existence being quietly described as Prada's little sister. Let's go back to where it actually started. To understand Miu Miu, you have to understand its founder. Her name is Miuccia Prada, born Maria Bianchi in Milan in 1949. Her grandfather, Mario Prada, founded the Prada leather goods company in Milan's Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II in 1913. And in a move that would be painfully ironic, given how the story turns out, Mario Prada specifically believed women had no place in business and prevented female family members from entering the company. Fast forward to 1978. Miuccia, who had earned a PhD in political science from the University of Milan, trained as a mime artist for 5 years at Milan's legendary Piccolo Teatro, and was an active member of the Italian Communist Party and the women's rights movement, reluctantly took over the family business. She didn't want to be in fashion. She wanted to be an intellectual. And somehow that contradiction, the political scientist who became a fashion designer, who didn't particularly believe in fashion as an art form, but kept making some of the most intellectually rigorous clothes in the industry, became part of a brand identity. She met her husband and business partner, Patrizio Bertelli, in 1978. He handled the commercial side. She handled the design. In 1985, she introduced the now iconic black nylon backpack, a deliberately ugly, anti-luxury material. It became her first commercial hit. By the early 1990s, Prada was one of the most influential houses in the world. So here's the thing about running a luxury house like Prada. There are rules. There's an identity you have to protect, a minimalism you have to maintain, a severity that goes with the territory. Miuccia Prada, who had built her entire aesthetic on intellectual subversion and making beautiful things out of wrong choices, needed somewhere she could just play. In 1992, she established Miu Miu, named after her own family nickname. The brand publicly launched in 1993 with a cowgirl-themed collection. Fringed suede jackets, patchwork prairie skirts, the whole thing. The first boutique opened on Via della Spiga in Milan. In 1994, the brand started showing in the US. In 1995, Kate Moss was in the New York show. Where Prada was controlled, Miu Miu was chaotic. Where Prada was severe, Miu Miu was girlish in a way that felt knowledgeable, not naive. This is the brand's own description of itself from the Prada Group. The energy conveyed by women's